The night falls gently, and a velvety calm wraps around the world like a warm shawl. The stars begin to blink awake, scattered across a midnight sky, silent witnesses to the moment when the day yields to rest. In this soft space between dusk and slumber, we begin our story. You find yourself in a quiet room lit only by a soft amber lamp. The curtains sway gently with the night breeze, and somewhere far off, the sound of wind chimes sings with a dreamy rhythm. A gentle voice greets you not from outside, but from within. "My name is Elias," it says. "And tonight, I'll be your guide into serenity." You lie back, your body already beginning to release the day's tension. The bed beneath you feels like a cloud, familiar and safe. Elias continues with a voice like honey stirred into tea. "Tonight, I'll take you far away from everything that demands your attention. We're heading to a place where the sky stretches endlessly and the earth breathes beneath your feet. But first, let's leave behind the noise, the motion, the lists, and expectations." You close your eyes as he speaks, and your mind gently turns inward. "Take a deep breath," Elias whispers, "and feel the air as it flows in. And slowly out again." You inhale deeply. The air feels cooler now, cleaner. As you exhale, your muscles soften. The back of your neck loosens, your fingers uncurl, your chest lifts with ease. With every breath, you drift further from the weight of the day, Elias continues. This moment belongs only to you. Nothing else matters. Outside, the wind dances with the trees. You hear it like a lullaby, rocking the leaves into dreams of their own. Now, Elias invites you to deepen your stillness. "Notice your body," he says. "Notice how it speaks to you through stillness, how your shoulders drop when they are finally allowed to let go. How your heartbeat becomes a rhythm that lulls instead of drives. How your breath slows until it barely makes a sound." You follow his guidance, your awareness settling into your chest and belly, where the rise and fall of breath moves like ocean waves. Inhale. Exhale. A rhythm older than time itself. "Feel the ground beneath you," he says. "It holds you without asking anything in return. You don't need to do. You only need to be." As you settle deeper, Elias begins to describe the destination that awaits you. "We're going to a land touched by sun and shadow, where rivers carved through ancient stone and rainforests hum with secrets. A place not just of peace, but of enchantment. It's called the Emerald Peninsula. You see it now not with your eyes, but with your imagination." A map begins to unfurl behind your eyelids, and on it lies the Emerald Peninsula, a jewel of land surrounded by turquoise waters and thick emerald jungles. "It's older than any city," Elias says, "and wiser than any clock. It remembers the footsteps of those who came before. The songs of the wind. The laughter of the rain." He pauses, letting the silence sink in like dusk into a field. "Our journey begins at twilight," Elias says softly. "A perfect time between moments. Let the night draw you in. You take another breath, and now, a scent fills the air, humid and green, like rain on moss and jasmine in bloom. In the Emerald Peninsula, Elias whispers, "You are not a stranger. You are a guest of the land. And it's time to meet it." Suddenly, you feel movement. Not jarring or abrupt, but fluid and inevitable. The walls of your room dissolve. The bed melts into earth. You are lying beneath an open sky now, and stars swirl above you like distant campfires. A soft breeze brushes your cheek. You sit up and find yourself on a path made of polished stone. There is no fear here. Only wonder. "Welcome," says Elias, though you do not see him. "This is where our adventure begins." The first light of dawn begins to creep into the sky, painting the clouds in delicate hues of apricot and rose. You are already awake, standing in the quiet courtyard of a small villa on the outskirts of the ancient city of Merida. Elias is nowhere to be seen, yet you feel his presence, a guiding force, gentle and unseen. A soft rumble echoes from the distance as a vintage Jeep pulls into view. The driver steps out, a woman dressed in linen and leather sandals, her wide-brimmed hat shadowing eyes as bright as obsidian. She smiles warmly. "I'm Solana," she says, offering a hand. "I'll take you into the heart of the Emerald Peninsula." "Elias said you were ready." You climb into the Jeep, the leather seats warm from the morning sun. Solana shifts gears, and the vehicle hums to life. As you begin your journey south, the city slowly fades into the background. The roads become narrower, hemmed in by dense jungle. Advertisements and tall buildings give way to humble stucco homes and small fruit stands under tarps. Solana hums along to a soft tune playing from an old radio, something classical, something ancient. "You're lucky," she says, eyes on the road. "Today is the Festival of Clouds. A sacred day to the Ninka people, the oldest guardians of this land." You listen as she explains how, on this day, locals believe the rain god Shuya dances in the sky, scattering mist to bless the earth. People leave offerings of citrus fruit, maize, and small paper birds along the forest paths. You spot them now, bundles of oranges and folded blue cranes tied to tree trunks with braided string. A sense of reverence fills the air. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. Birds call from unseen perches, and the jungle breathes around you, alive and humming with history. "We're not far from one of the old haciendas," Solana says, turning down a gravel road lined with ceiba trees. "But first, we'll stop at something much older." The Jeep rolls to a stop near what appears to be a natural sinkhole surrounded by limestone cliffs and thick ferns. Solana gestures toward it. "This is a cenote," she says. "The Ninka believe it's a doorway between the worlds." You approach the edge carefully. The water below is impossibly blue, so clear it seems to glow. Tiny fish dart just beneath the surface. Dragonflies skim across the water, leaving tiny ripples behind. A narrow stone staircase leads down to the water. Solana stays above while you descend. The air grows cooler, thick with the scent of wet stone and earth. As you reach the bottom, you kneel and touch the water. It's cold, and yet it tingles against your skin like it holds memory. You may leave a thought here, Solana calls down. The cenote listens. You close your eyes, thinking of something you wish to release. A worry. A name. A silence. Then you dip your hand beneath the surface and let it go. As you climb back up, a new lightness fills your chest as if the jungle itself has taken part of your burden. Back on the road, the landscape opens up into rolling fields. Wild parrots dart across the sky, their feathers catching sunlight like shards of emerald and gold. You pass by villages where children chase one another between mango trees, and elders sit under the shade of palapis, drinking strong tea from clay mugs. Eventually, the road bends toward a grand stone archway flanked by palm trees. At the top, a rusted metal sign reads, Finca del Cielo, Farm of the Sky. This is where we'll rest for breakfast, Solana says. As the jeep rumbles down the long driveway, you feel as though you've crossed not just distance, but time. The hacienda that emerges at the end of the path is radiant, its walls painted in deep amber and red tones, its windows framed with flowering vines. A porter greets you with a nod and offers a chilled towel scented with eucalyptus. Solana disappears to speak with someone inside, leaving you to wander. You follow a cobbled path through lush gardens, orchids bloom beside banana palms, and the scent of vanilla and pepper leaf mingles in the warm air. You pass a stone bench beside a small koi pond where the fish seem to glow in the morning sun. Eventually, you arrive at an open terrace where a table is already set, linen cloth, ceramic plates hand-painted in teal and sunflower yellow, a bowl of fresh papaya and lime, a silver pot of hot coffee, and a small folded note. You unfold it. The day unfolds like a map. Walk slowly. You are the traveler and the treasure. Eat. You smile, recognizing Elias's touch in the words. As you pour yourself a cup of coffee, Solana returns with a basket of warm tortillas and honeycomb. We have a long day ahead, she says, but for now this moment belongs only to you. And with that, you sit back, letting the breeze move through your hair, and the flavors of this land awaken something deep and old within you. After breakfast, you linger on the terrace, watching sunlight drip like honey through the canopy of royal palms. Solana has gone to prepare the jeep, leaving you alone with your coffee and the quiet rustle of leaves. A narrow stone path catches your eye. It leads away from the main building and disappears into a wall of bougainvillea. On a whim, you rise and follow it. As you step through the flowering archway, the sounds of the hacienda begin to fade. Birdsong softens. The wind quiets. Even your footsteps seem gentler on the moss-lined path. You enter a secluded garden hidden, like a memory folded away for safekeeping. Stone walls rise around it, ancient and ivy-draped, forming a perfect square. Inside, the space is alive with textures and colors, Tall cacti bloom with crimson flowers, vines dangle like silk ribbons from high terraces, and a shallow fountain bubbles quietly in the center, fed by water that seems to glow faintly from within. You pause, feeling a strange sense of familiarity. As if you've been here before, not in this lifetime, perhaps, but in some echo of it. There is a bench beside the fountain, carved from dark wood and worn smooth by time. You sit, letting your fingers trail through the cool water. Across the surface, fallen petals drift like tiny boats. Something catches your attention, a whisper. It isn't a sound, exactly. More like a feeling. A brush of thought against your own. You look up. In the garden wall to your left, partially hidden behind a flowering vine, is a small iron door. You hadn't seen it before, though you're certain it was always there. Curiosity stirs. You approach and reach out. The metal is warm beneath your fingers. The door opens with a soft groan. Beyond it is a spiral staircase made of stone, leading downward into the earth. You hesitate just for a breath and then descend. The air cools, but not unkindly. Lanterns line the walls, casting golden circles of light that flicker and dance as you pass. You begin to notice murals painted on the stone, vivid, ancient images of birds, rivers, suns, and people dressed in ceremonial robes. At the bottom of the stairs, you emerge into a circular chamber. The floor is covered in smooth river stones, and at the center, a pool of water lies still as glass. The ceiling above is open to the sky, revealing a perfect circle of blue. Elias's voice returns, not aloud, but from inside you. This place is called El Aliento de la Tierra, the breath of the earth, he says. It was a sanctuary, a listening place. The 9 Ka elders came here when they needed to speak with the spirits of the land. You approach the water and kneel beside it. Looking into it, you expect to see your reflection. Instead, you see scenes, fragments of a life that doesn't feel entirely your own. A hand planting seeds in soft soil. A woman singing beside a fire. A storm gathering over distant hills. A child releasing a paper bird into the wind. You blink, and it's gone. Just water again. Some say memories of the earth are stored in places like these, Elias says gently. When we're quiet enough, they remember us back. You sit beside the pool for a while, listening not with your ears, but with your breath, your bones. And in that silence, something shifts. The hurried rhythm of modern life dissolves, replaced by something slower. Older. Truer. Eventually, you rise and climb the spiral stairs back to the garden. The sunlight seems brighter now, but the space feels changed. Or perhaps it's you who has changed. Flowers lean closer as you pass, and a bird lands on the edge of the fountain, watching you with curious eyes. As you reach the gate to the main hacienda, Solana is waiting. She lifts an eyebrow, smiling knowingly. The garden tends to reveal more than it hides, she says. You nod, still lost in the weight of what you felt. Solana hands you a cool bottle of tamarind water. Ready for the road. You take a long drink, then look out toward the horizon. The jungle awaits, and beyond it, the sacred blue cenote where your next destination lies. With the whisper of garden spirits still clinging to your shoulders like mist, you step once more into the journey. The road away from Finca del Cielo curves gently into dense woodland. The gravel beneath the tires crackles like dry leaves, and morning sun flickers through a canopy of green in scattered patterns like lanterns swinging softly in the wind. Solana drives in silence for a while, letting the forest speak. It does so in layers, the hum of unseen insects, the distant call of howler monkeys, the rustle of unseen wings brushing past branches. The deeper you go, the more the world begins to feel enchanted, less like a place you travel through and more like one that swallows you whole. You feel it too, don't you? Solana finally says, her voice hushed. You nod, unable to explain the rising electricity in your veins, as if the forest knows you're coming. They say this part of the Emerald Peninsula is alive, she continues. Not just with trees and animals, but with memory. Some travelers feel like they're being watched not in fear, but in welcome. She slows the jeep as the path narrows to a single-lane trail, almost overgrown. Vines reach across like fingers, brushing the windshield. You pass moss-covered stone markers along the side of the path, ancient and leaning, their surfaces etched with symbols you don't recognize. These stones mark the edge of the Selva de los Recuerdos, Solana says. The forest of memories. You feel it immediately, a subtle shift, like stepping into a cathedral or a dream. The temperature drops a degree. Shadows deepen. Even the air feels denser, charged with anticipation. Eventually, Solana parks beneath a giant ceiba tree whose roots curl and twist like sleeping serpents. We walk from here, she says, handing you a canvas satchel with water, a notepad, and a small pouch of dried herbs. You raise an eyebrow. What's this for? In case you meet someone who prefers gifts to conversation, she replies cryptically, already heading down the path. You follow, weaving through tangled vines and wild orchids. Time seems to warp beneath the forest's thick canopy. Minutes stretch, then collapse. Sunlight pierces through in narrow shafts, spotlighting flowers in surreal, painterly glows. Then you hear it, running water. You quicken your pace, emerging into a small clearing. Before you lies a brook, crystal clear and babbling over smooth stones. Solana kneels and splashes her face, motioning for you to do the same. It's sacred, she says. Comes from the same underground river that feeds the cenotes. You drink, and the water is shockingly cold. It tastes of limestone and distant rain. As you wipe your mouth, you see something glint in the shallows. You reach down and pull out a smooth, round stone perfectly black and cool to the touch. A blessing, Solana murmurs. Keep it with you. You tuck the stone into your pocket, the weight grounding you. As you continue, The jungle thickens. Strange bird calls echo around you, and at one point you spot a troop of spider monkeys leaping high in the trees. One stops to look directly at you, head tilted, before chattering softly and vanishing into the foliage. You pause when you reach a natural archway formed by two interlocked banyan trees. Vines drape like curtains, and Solana raises her hand. From here, she says, we move in silence. The next place is not for loud feet. You nod and step through. The air becomes impossibly still. Even the birds hold their breath. You walk slowly, reverently. A soft mist begins to rise from the earth, swirling at your ankles like a living thing. The trees are taller here, impossibly tall, with bark so smooth it reflects like polished glass. And then you see it. Through the trees, a clearing opens and at its center is the cenote. It is unlike anything you've seen. The pool is sunken, ringed by pale limestone, and the water inside is a luminous teal that seems to glow from its own soul. Ivy drapes from the ledges above, and blossoms float across the surface like prayers. This is Exbalam-ha, Solana whispers. Jaguar water. You approach, heartbeat steady, and kneel at the edge. In the silence, you hear the whispers, not voices, but impressions. Emotions. Echoes. As if the water remembers every life that has ever gazed into it. You lean over and see not just your reflection but flickers of other faces. An old woman with braids, a child laughing, a man with painted eyes. These waters hold stories, Solana says, kneeling beside you. And they may offer you one, if you listen. You close your eyes. The world slows. Time becomes thick, syrupy. And in that stillness, something comes, an image, a memory that isn't yours. You see yourself, another self, standing at this very pool. But the sky is dark, lit only by torches. You are wearing robes of indigo and gold, holding a clay vessel. You speak a name, one you don't know, and pour something into the water. You feel joy, grief, release. Then it fades. You open your eyes and the pool is calm once more. Solana says nothing. She only places a hand on your shoulder and nods. She knows. As you prepare to leave, she hands you a folded cloth. Inside is a single obsidian shard, no larger than a coin. A reminder, she says, that there is always something deeper beneath the surface. You glance back at the cenote one last time. The light has changed. The mist begins to lift. A breeze stirs the jungle, and for a moment, you feel as if you've just stepped out of someone else's dream. But no, this is your journey now. And it is only just beginning. The path from Exbalam-ha winds deeper into the jungle. The air grows thicker, fragrant with sap and moss, and the light above filters through in golden strands, like threads in an ancient tapestry. Solana walks ahead in silence, her machete gently clearing vines with rhythmic, almost ceremonial movements. You follow, still reeling from the vision at the cenote. It wasn't just a dream. You felt it in your bones. You carry the memory like a hidden ember. After nearly an hour of walking, the trail opens up into a wide glade. There, half hidden beneath colossal ferns and mist-draped trees, is a village that looks like it grew out of the earth itself. Clay houses with thatched roofs huddle in circles. Their walls are painted in faded indigo, terracotta, and ochre. Smoke curls lazily from chimneys, and a group of children dash barefoot through the clearing, laughter echoing like wind chimes. The village of Knbe, Solana says quietly. Its name means golden path. They don't appear on maps. An elder stands near the largest hut, watching. She's short, with deep-set eyes and skin like parchment, weathered by time and stories. Around her neck hang several charms made of bone, jade, and dried blossoms. Without speaking, she gestures for you to follow. You remove your shoes out of instinct. Inside the hut, the air is cool and dense with incense. Braids of dried herbs hang from the ceiling, and in the center sits a shallow bowl filled with black sand and a single blue feather. The elder motions for you to kneel. Solana remains at the entrance. "Nine many," the woman says, her voice like smoke, "you have come far." You blink. The name she speaks, it's not yours, but it feels familiar. "You carry something forgotten," she continues. "The water showed it to you. Now we must unearth it." From a woven basket, she pulls out a folded cloth. Inside is a small, perfectly round mirror, its surface dull and smoky. She hands it to you. "This mirror is not for faces," she says. "It shows what hides beneath." You hesitate, then look into it. Nothing. Then, slowly, shadows begin to gather. Not menacing, more like outlines, sketches of past selves drawn in charcoal. You see hands planting seeds. Feet dancing in ritual circles. Eyes gazing at stars not of this age. A tremor runs through your limbs. You blink, but the images persist. They blend with memories of your own, of quiet nights and unanswered questions, of yearning you couldn't name. The elder gently takes the mirror from your hands and whispers, "You are a bridge." You don't yet understand, but the words settle in your chest like seeds. She dips her fingers into the black sand and presses her thumb to your forehead. "Tonight," she says, "you will remember." You're led to a ceremonial hut on the edge of the village. Solana is waiting there with fresh clothes, a light tunic woven from natural fiber and a necklace made of dried lime seeds. As dusk settles, drums begin to sound. Low, steady, like the heartbeat of the jungle. You are led by torchlight to the central clearing where the villagers gather around a circle of glowing stones. Children sit in the front, their eyes wide with wonder. Elders sway gently to the rhythm. Solana stands at your side, her expression unreadable. Then, the elder steps forward. She chants in the Ninka language, her voice rising like smoke toward the stars. From a clay bowl, she casts burning leaves into the fire, and their scent fills the night, bitter and sweet, earthy and sharp. You inhale deeply and feel your body loosen. A figure approaches from the darkness, cloaked in feathers and paint, part human, part spirit. His eyes are obscured by a jaguar mask, and around his arms hang talismans that clink softly. He kneels before you and offers a cup. You take it. The liquid is thick, herbal, unfamiliar. You drink. The world bends. Colors ripple. Sounds stretch. Time collapses. You are no longer in KNBE. You are flying over treetops, your body made of light and breath. You see other versions of yourself walking deserts, sailing rivers, standing at the edge of temples carved from obsidian. You feel both vast and small, ancient and brand new. And in the heart of it all, a voice Elias's whispers, "This is who you were. And who you may be again." Then, like mist lifting at dawn, it all fades. You awaken at dawn, lying beneath a woven blanket in the ceremonial hut. Solana is outside, warming her hands by a fire. She sees you rise and smiles. "I told you," she says, "the forest remembers." You touch your forehead. The thumbprint is gone, but something remains. You are no longer just a traveler. You are part of the story now. The first light of dawn glimmers through the treetops like gold dust drifting through a green cathedral. Smoke from the ceremonial fire still curls lazily in the air, and the village of KNBE stirs gently, like a creature waking from an ancient dream. You rise slowly, the memory of last night's vision still alive behind your eyelids. The warmth of the herbal drink, the jaguar masked figure, the dizzying flight through lifetimes, it all clings to you like perfume from a dream. But something in you has shifted, deepened, solidified. Outside the hut, Solana is preparing supplies: water flasks, woven satchels, a map inked on dried palm leaf. "You slept like one of them," she says without turning. "It means the forest has accepted you." You nod, still quiet. There are no words yet. Only knowing. The elder appears one last time, hands cupped around something small. She opens them slowly and reveals a smooth blue stone, etched with a symbol that pulses faintly when the light touches it. "For the journey ahead," she murmurs, placing it in your palm. "You will need it." Water remembers, but it also tests. You and Solana leave the village with soft farewells from the children and the watchful silence of the elders. The path now winds downward, and the trees grow closer together. Roots twist like veins beneath the soil, and sometimes, you swear you hear whispered names in the wind. After several hours of quiet travel, the air begins to change. It's cooler, heavier. You feel a low pressure behind your eyes as if the jungle is holding its breath. "The next cenote," Solana finally says, "is not like Exbalam Ha." It's deeper, older, less forgiving. You glance at her. Is it dangerous? Only if you fight it, she replies. It doesn't want your strength. It wants your surrender. The path opens to a hidden clearing. At the center lies the cenote umnahal, the dreaming mouth. This one is wide and perfectly circular, its edges steep and slippery with moss. No steps. Just sheer limestone walls descending into blue-black water that barely ripples, as if the surface hides a sleeping world beneath. A single rope ladder hangs from a tree, trailing into the darkness below. Solana removes her satchel and hands you a waterproof pouch. Put your stone inside. You'll need both hands. You secure the blue stone and follow her to the edge. Without hesitation, she begins climbing down the rope ladder. You follow. The air grows cooler with each step. The scent of minerals and damp stone wraps around you. Your hands begin to ache from the rope, but your grip holds. Finally, your feet touch a narrow ledge just above the water. You look down and see your reflection distorted by the shadows. But it's not just you. Behind your shoulder is a shape. Tall. Antlered. Watching. You spin around. Nothing. Don't react, Solana whispers. It's part of the test. She steps into the water. You must go in alone. You hesitate. The water looks endless. Silent. But there is no fear in your chest, only a calm, steady readiness. You step off the ledge and into the cenote. At first, the cold steals your breath. But slowly, it becomes bearable. Almost comforting. You float on your back, the limestone walls spinning slowly above you like a living mandala. Then, something shifts. The water pulls. Not violently but irresistibly. Downward. You try to kick, to stay afloat, but the pull deepens, drawing you into the cenote's heart. You let go. And suddenly you're no longer in water. You're standing in a vast underground hall, dry and echoing, lit by a soft blue glow from nowhere. The walls are carved with spirals, glyphs, and what look like constellations. In the center stands a figure cloaked in translucent light. Their face shifts, young and old, male and female, familiar and foreign. You've entered the memory chamber, they say. Here, we do not ask what you know. We ask what you've forgotten. The figure steps aside, revealing 3 doors carved into the stone. Above each is an animal, a serpent, a hummingbird, and a turtle. You may choose only one, they say. Each leads to a memory not yours, but needed. You approach the hummingbird door, drawn by an instinct you can't name. As you touch it, the door dissolves into mist, and you step through. You are in a sun-drenched field, surrounded by wild marigolds. Children laugh nearby. A woman sings as she weaves colored thread into a long sash. You are her child. You feel love, simplicity, warmth. Then it shifts. You're running through heavy rain. The same woman lies on a cot, coughing. Villagers whisper. You feel helpless. The sash she was weaving is unfinished in your hands. The vision fades. You awaken once more in the water of Umnahal, gasping. You are still floating. Solana is beside you in a canoe, her face calm. Now you understand, she says. Not all memories are from this life. But they shape you still. You climb into the canoe, shivering. She wraps you in a thick blanket and hands you warm tea brewed with cinnamon and bark. You hold the cup and watch the jungle rise again around you as she paddles back toward the world above. You have passed the test of water. But air, earth, and fire still wait. As the morning sun climbs higher, casting golden light through the dense canopy, the forest slowly gives way to signs of life, colors, sounds, and scents, weaving a tapestry more vivid than any dream. Solana guides you through narrow trails lined with blooming hibiscus and fiery trumpet flowers until the jungle opens onto a bustling village square. The market of echoes is alive with energy, a swirl of voices speaking in melodic tongues, vibrant textiles hanging like flags, and the rich aroma of spices, fresh fruit, and warm tortillas. Here, past and present meet in every corner. Vendors shout playful greetings, offering their wares hand-woven baskets painted in bold colors, ceramics glazed with traditional patterns, and fragrant bundles of dried herbs rumored to hold healing. Magic. A young man catches your eye. His name is Tenocht, a musician and storyteller with fingers stained by the pigments of local dyes. He wears a necklace of carved bone beads and smiles with the quiet confidence of someone who carries many stories. You've come far, he says, his voice smooth as flowing water. This market is not just for goods, it's a place where memories are traded. You follow him past stalls crowded with ancient pottery and fresh coffee beans. Tenocht pulls out a small flute and begins to play a haunting melody. The notes drift above the chatter, weaving through the crowd like a gentle wind. The villagers pause, eyes closing, swaying to the rhythm. You feel the music brush against your skin, like a whispered secret. Tenocht's eyes meet yours. There's something you need to hear, he says. He leads you to a small, dimly lit courtyard at the edge of the market. On a carved wooden table lies a faded leather-bound book. Its cover is etched with symbols that match the ones you saw in the underground chamber: the serpent, the hummingbird, and the turtle. This is the Codex of the Nine Ka, Tenocht explains. It holds the stories of those chosen by the forest, the bridges between worlds. You open the book carefully. The pages are brittle but filled with beautiful illustrations and glyphs telling tales of ancient travelers who, like you, journeyed to reclaim forgotten memories and unlock hidden truths. One passage catches your eye: a prophecy about a traveler who will awaken the three spirits and bring balance to the land. Tenocht smiles knowingly. You're that traveler. But the path ahead is full of trials. Each spirit must be met with respect and courage. He points to an illustration of a great serpent coiled around a mountain, its scales shimmering like obsidian. The serpent represents earth and transformation. Another image shows a hummingbird hovering over a blooming flower, wings a blur of light. The hummingbird is the spirit of air and joy. The last depicts a turtle resting on the shore of a deep lake. The turtle embodies water and wisdom. Suddenly, a vibrant crowd gathers nearby, preparing for the festival's dance, a celebration to honor these spirits. You're invited to join. As the sun sets, the village erupts in music and movement. Flames from torches flicker against painted faces. Feet drum the earth in hypnotic rhythms. You join in, feeling the pulse of the land beneath your skin, the heartbeat of generations coursing through your veins. Amidst the celebration, Tenok leans in and whispers, "Tomorrow, your true test begins. Are you ready?" You look to the sky, where stars begin to peek through the twilight. The journey is far from over, but tonight, you are home. The morning sun filters softly through woven palm leaves as you awaken in a humble hut at the edge of the village, your body still carrying the rhythm of last night's dance, the pounding drums, the laughter, the voices woven into an ancient chant. The air is thick with incense and the scent of roasting corn, and outside, the village stirs awake with the gentle bustle of a new day. Solana waits patiently, already prepared for the next stage of your journey. Her eyes gleam with quiet purpose as she gathers supplies: a weathered map, a small carved talisman shaped like a jaguar's claw, and a satchel filled with herbs and dried fruits. "Today we enter the ruins of Zilnak," she says, her voice steady but edged with reverence. "A place where the walls still hum with the light of those who came before. Here, the past and present entwine." The path to Zilnak begins with a climb through thick jungle, leaves brushing your skin and sunlight flickering through the canopy. The trail is narrow, marked only by weathered stone pillars etched with symbols, spirals, stars, and the familiar shapes of serpent, hummingbird, and turtle. Each step feels heavier with anticipation. As you ascend, a sudden clearing opens a vast expanse of stone ruins shrouded in vines and moss. Massive archways lean precariously, and steps carved from ancient limestone lead to crumbling platforms. The air feels charged, as if the stones themselves hold whispered memories. Solana pauses, turning to you. "This was once a center of wisdom and ceremony for the Ninka people," she explains. "Legends say the temple here was a bridge to the spirit world." You run your fingers along the cracked stone of a towering pillar. Tiny carvings depict figures dancing, animals leaping, and celestial bodies orbiting an unseen sun. A sudden rustle draws your attention to the edge of the clearing. A figure steps out from the shadows, a woman adorned in robes embroidered with feathers and shells. Her hair is streaked with silver and adorned with beads that chime softly with each movement. She smiles, her eyes reflecting the forest's mysteries. "I am Naeli," she says, voice like the wind through leaves. "Keeper of the ruins, and guide to those who seek the truth." Naeli approaches, holding a wooden bowl carved with intricate patterns. For your journey, you must drink the essence of the forest, she says, offering the bowl. Inside swirls a deep green liquid speckled with glowing flecks. You hesitate, but something in Naeli's gaze dissolves doubt. You drink, the liquid cool and sharp, tasting of moss, wildflowers, and rain. Immediately, the ruins begin to shift. Stones realign. The air shimmers. Sounds grow, echoes of footsteps, distant chants, the rustling of ancient robes. You find yourself standing in a vision and Ninka ceremony, vibrant and alive. Elders in feathered headdresses chant around a fire, their voices weaving a tapestry of power and prayer. A jaguar prowls silently, its eyes glowing with otherworldly light. Naeli's voice cuts through the vision. To awaken the power within, you must choose your path wisely. The serpent's wisdom transforms. The hummingbird's joy enlightens. The turtle's patience endures. You look at the ruined temple's three main chambers, each guarded by stone statues embodying these creatures. From the ruins' shadows, faint lights flicker, calling you forward. Choosing the hummingbird chamber, you step through its archway, the air inside lighter, almost humming with life. The walls are painted with vibrant murals of flowers, birds, and flowing rivers. At the chamber's heart is an altar carved from a single stone, atop which rests a feather that glows with an ethereal light. As you reach out, the feather lifts gently, circling you like a breeze. Your heart quickens not with fear, but exhilaration. Energy floods your senses, colors brighter, sounds sharper, your breath lighter. Suddenly, a presence fills the room, a spirit of air, manifesting as a glowing hummingbird, its wings beating a rhythm that synchronizes with your pulse. You are the bridge, it whispers. Between worlds, between moments. Your joy ignites the path forward. The spirit dissolves into a shower of light, leaving the feather resting softly in your palm. Exiting the chamber, you feel renewed but aware of the weight that lies ahead. Naeli awaits, her gaze knowing. The other chambers hold their own tests, she warns. But only when your spirit is ready. As the sun dips low, you set camp among the ruins, the jungle alive with nocturnal sounds and the stars emerging like scattered jewels overhead. Lying beneath the vast sky, you clutch the feather, feeling the hummingbird's light within you, a spark of joy and freedom that promises transformation. The journey continues deeper, farther, toward truths both ancient and new. The dawn breaks with a silver mist curling around the ancient stones of Zilnak. You awaken wrapped in a cocoon of quiet anticipation, the hummingbird's feather resting against your chest like a heartbeat. Solana is already stirring the campfire, her silhouette flickering in the pale light. Naeli approaches, her gaze steady and solemn. Today, you face the serpent, she says, voice low. The keeper of transformation and the shadow self. The path to the serpent's chamber is steep, winding through dense groves where shadows pool like water. As you approach, the air thickens heavy with the scent of earth and rain. The chamber door is carved from dark stone, its surface etched with twisting coils and eyes that seem to watch your every move. You reach out and touch the cold surface. The door shivers, then slowly opens, revealing a narrow corridor lit by flickering torches that cast long, dancing shadows. Inside, the walls pulse with ancient carving serpents intertwined in endless loops, their scales shimmering as if alive. The air is thick, almost suffocating. A voice echoes a hiss like wind through dry leaves. "Welcome, traveler," it whispers. "To shed your skin is to be reborn. But first, you must face what you hide." You move forward, the floor beneath slick with moss and time. Suddenly, the corridor narrows. Vines descend like grasping fingers, and the shadows twist into serpentine shapes. Fear prickles your skin, but you press on. At the chamber's heart stands a great statue of a serpent, its eyes gleaming with unspoken knowledge. Around its base lies a pool of dark water, still and deep. Naeli's voice breaks through your thoughts. To transform, you must enter the water and surrender your fears. You undress and step into the pool. The cold embraces you like a shroud. Beneath the surface, the water is ink black, swallowing light and sound. You dive down, heart pounding, until the darkness surrounds you completely. In the depths, visions arise, moments of weakness, shame, regret. Faces of those you wished to forget. The choices you hid even from yourself. The serpent's voice coils through your mind. To accept transformation, you must confront your shadow. You face each vision, letting the fear, the guilt, the pain wash over and through you like currents. With each breath, your body lightens, your spirit opens. Finally, you break the surface, gasping, lungs burning but heart calm. As you rise, the serpent statue's eyes glow warmly. The darkness in the water recedes, replaced by shimmering light. Naeli helps you out, wrapping you in warm cloth. "You have shed your skin," she says softly. "You are ready for what comes next." You feel reborn, not just cleansed but awakened. Stepping out of the chamber, the jungle seems brighter, the air clearer. The serpent's challenge has left you stronger. As night falls over Zilnak, the hummingbird's feather pulses gently beside the jaguar's claw and the bluestone. The journey continues, weaving you ever deeper into the mysteries of the Emerald Peninsula. The morning mist drapes the ruins in a silvery veil as you rise from your restless sleep. The echoes of the serpent's chamber still pulse faintly in your veins, shadows faced, fears shed. Yet, beneath it all, a steady calm grows, as if the earth itself has lent you strength. Solana waits, prepared as ever, with a pouch of sacred herbs and a carved wooden staff crowned with a turtle's shell. "Today," she says, "you meet the turtle. The spirit of patience, wisdom, and endurance. It is the final trial before your path unfolds fully." You follow her through winding jungle paths softened by layers of fallen leaves. The scent of damp earth mingles with distant orchids. Birds call in an unseen symphony, welcoming the new day. Soon, the trees part to reveal a vast cenote unlike any before. The water's surface is smooth as glass, reflecting the sky and surrounding cliffs with perfect clarity. Ancient stone steps lead down to its edge, worn by countless feet but never by time. Solana kneels, scattering herbs into the water that sizzle and bubble briefly, releasing a fragrant mist. The turtle's trial is one of stillness, she says. You must enter the water and hold yourself beneath the surface, not in struggle, but in surrender. Your heart hammers in your chest, but the calm within holds steady. You step down into the cenote, water enveloping you like a cool embrace. Submerging, you feel the weight of the world lift. Around you, shadows flicker, images of your past, your fears, your hopes. But here, unlike before, there is no rush. No urgency. Only breath and silence. Time dilates, stretching infinitely. You hold yourself submerged, senses sharpening, colors intensify, sounds blur into a gentle hum. Visions drift by, ancient turtles gliding beneath waves, slow and steady, elders passing wisdom like fireflies in the night, the delicate balance of nature's cycle. Your mind quiets, embracing patience. The water supports you, cradles you. As you surface, lungs burning, you feel a deep clarity, a wisdom earned not in haste, but in enduring stillness. Back on shore, Solana offers you a slow smile. You have learned the lesson of the turtle, she says. Patience is not waiting, it is active presence. Endurance is not mere survival, it is thriving in the face of time. She places the turtle shell staff in your hands, its surface cool and smooth. Together, you watch the sun set behind the cliffs, the sky ablaze in molten gold and crimson. The three talismans, the jaguar claw, the hummingbird feather, and now the turtle staff, rest together, symbols of your journey's transformation, joy, and wisdom. The Emerald Peninsula has shared its secrets. Yet you know this is but a beginning. The dawn breaks softly over the Emerald Peninsula, spilling liquid gold across the dense canopy and shimmering pools below. The forest breathes in rhythm with your own, steady and calm, carrying the quiet hum of ancient stories finally awakened. You rise from your simple camp beneath towering ceiba trees, the talismans resting lightly in your pack, the jaguar's claw, the hummingbird's feather, and the turtle's staff, all symbols now etched deeply into your spirit. Each carries the essence of the trials you endured, transformation, joy, and wisdom. Solana moves with her usual quiet purpose, her eyes reflecting the morning light as she readies the jeep. Today marks the beginning of your journey home, not as the traveler who came, but as one changed by the land's embrace, a living bridge between past and present. The forest seems to recognize this shift. The birds sing a softer, sweeter melody, the breeze dances gently through leaves as if whispering farewells and promises all at once. As you climb aboard, the vehicle hums to life and begins the winding descent through ancient trails now familiar. The roadside blossoms seem more vivid, their colors saturated with meaning, every stone, every shadow feels charged with stories you never saw before. Midway through the journey, Solana pulls to a halt beside a shallow river bordered by wild marigolds and vibrant passion flowers. The water ripples with the dance of dragonflies, and the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flora. We will pause here, Solana says softly, for this river is called the River of Memories. It holds reflections not only of the past but of what may yet come. You step down, feeling the cool grass beneath your feet. The water beckons, clear and inviting. Kneeling at the bank, you peer into the depths and see your own reflection, but not just that. Behind your image flicker moments of the journey, the silent cenotes, the festival dances, the serpentine shadows, the hummingbird's flight. But intertwined are visions yet unseen, faces of people you have yet to meet, places you have yet to explore. As you sit back on your heels, a gentle voice breaks the reverie. It is not only the land that remembers, Solana says. You carry these stories forward. They are part of you now. You close your eyes and breathe deeply, letting the river's calm wash through your thoughts. Suddenly, footsteps crunch softly nearby. Turning, you see Nayeli approaching, her presence serene yet vibrant. I have been waiting to speak with you, she says, settling beside you. Your journey has changed you in ways you may not yet grasp. She pulls from her satchel an ancient scroll, its edges frayed but its markings crisp and glowing faintly in the morning sun. This, she explains, is a gift from the Ninka elders. It holds the knowledge of the bridge, the role you are destined to play. Carefully, she unrolls the parchment, revealing diagrams and writings in the lost language of the Ninka, symbols representing cycles of nature, the interconnectedness of all beings, and paths through unseen worlds. You are now a keeper of these secrets, Nayeli continues. A guardian who walks between the ordinary and the sacred. Her gaze holds yours, steady and knowing. But beware, she warns, for the world beyond these forests is changing. The balance is fragile. Your task will not end with this journey. The weight of her words settles over you, a mantle both daunting and honorable. As the day warms, you and Solana resume your travels, passing villages where life pulses with everyday simplicity and enduring traditions. Children run barefoot through dusty streets, elders sit beneath spreading ceiba trees, and smoke rises from open fires where tortillas are turned. In one village, a woman approaches you, her eyes sharp and curious. She presents a woven bracelet threaded with the same colors as your talismans. For protection, she says, and to remind you of your path. You accept gratefully, feeling the bracelet's strength weave into your own. Night falls as you near the outskirts of Merida. The city's skyline glimmers faintly, a promise of return and renewal. Sitting beside Solana on the jeep's bench seat, you watch the stars awaken above the forest's edge, silent witnesses to a journey both ending and beginning anew. Your heart carries the lessons of the serpent, the hummingbird, and the turtle. You are no longer simply a traveler, you are a bridge, a keeper, a bearer of stories. And the Emerald Peninsula's magic flows within you, forever. The first light of dawn spills gently over the horizon, casting a soft glow across the sprawling cityscape of Merida. You stand at the edge where the wild embrace of the Emerald Peninsula gives way to the rhythms of modern life, a place forever changed, as are you. The journey that began beneath ancient trees, through sacred cenotes and forgotten villages, has brought you back not to where you started, but to a new beginning. Your spirit carries the weight and lightness of the jaguar's transformation, the hummingbird's joy, and the turtle's wisdom. As you walk through the bustling streets, the colors seem more vivid, the sounds richer, the air thick with possibility. Faces pass by, some familiar, some strangers, all part of the vast tapestry you now understand more deeply. At the city's central plaza, a small crowd has gathered. Among them are the people you met along the way: Solana, Nayeli, Tenacht, and others whose eyes gleam with shared purpose. A woman steps forward, her voice clear and ringing. Today, we celebrate not only the land but the awakening within each of us. A journey of heart, spirit, and mind. You realize this gathering is more than a farewell, it is a promise. As the sun rises higher, you feel a pulse beneath your feet, a reminder that the earth itself breathes with you. You reach into your pocket and touch the talismans, the jaguar claw, the hummingbird feather, and the turtle staff. They are no longer mere objects but parts of you, symbols of a path walked with courage, joy, and patience. Elias's voice echoes softly in your mind: you are the bridge, the keeper of stories, the bearer of light. You breathe deeply, knowing that the true journey has just begun. With a heart open to all the mysteries yet to come, you step forward into the new dawn, ready to weave your story into the endless song of the Emerald Peninsula and beyond. Title: Whispers of the Emerald Peninsula, a journey of spirit and transformation. Description: Embark on an enchanting journey through the mystical Emerald Peninsula, where ancient cenotes whisper forgotten secrets and sacred forests pulse with timeless wisdom. Guided by Solana and the enigmatic Elias, you traverse hidden villages, face transformative trials in the chambers of the hummingbird, serpent, and turtle, and awaken to a deeper connection with the land and yourself. This tale weaves together courage, joy, and patience, inviting you to become a bridge between worlds and a keeper of stories. Will you answer the call of the Emerald Peninsula and discover the light within?